What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. So yesterday there was an AMA on Reddit. Philip Thureen, I think is how you say his name, but he is the Warzone director for the Marvel's Avengers game, and he was answering a bunch of the community's questions yesterday. And there is a bunch of new information that we found out, and I gotta say, I'm even more excited for the game now than I was before. I'm very cautiously optimistic about this game. It honestly sounds too good to be true, and I really hope that this game is good. And during their gameplay reveal event earlier in the week, I gotta say the gameplay has impressed me. It does look like it's going to be a lot of fun. And in this video I've gone through and picked out some of the biggest bits of information that we learned during the AMA. I'm not going to include every single question and answer that he did, because that would just take hours, but I'm going to point out all of the major questions and answers that he gave during this AMA on Reddit. So the first question that we got was, will there be missions with non-action elements? Examples are puzzles, science, tech, investigation, stealth. Will we ever explore events in the Gamerverse past, such as Captain America's World War II experience? And then Phil goes on to answer by saying, we have some light puzzle elements but no investigations. I love your idea about past events. I'll talk about it with the team. So it looks like there's some light puzzle elements. I'm willing to bet that there's almost hardly any puzzle elements at all. It's more of a fighting looter kind of game. So I just don't see there being that many types of puzzles. And then the next question was, will all Warzone maps have room for flying / ranged movement? My biggest / only worry right now is there won't be any room for some heroes such as Iron Man to properly breathe. Thanks for all the work you guys have been doing and hope you have an amazing week. And then Phil responded by saying, you can fly everywhere, including indoors and underground, though the ceilings can be a bit lower inside, and you won't be forced to walk anywhere except for things like transitions between areas. So that's a pretty big deal. I know I was also worried about this. I don't want to be playing indoors and be stuck as Iron Man and not being able to fly around. So at least we know now that the indoor buildings are at least big enough for you to fly. And then the next question is, I noticed that all characters have bars under their health bar. Thor can spend it to channel Odin Force. Kamala embiggens her base attacks, if I'm correct. What exactly is that meter for each character, and how does it play into the way each character plays? And then he responded by saying it's called intrinsic ability. As you mentioned, it fuels their special abilities, and every hero has a different one. They can be offensive or defensive in nature. More details on those soon. So you will have a meter that fills up over time during combat that lets you perform some sort of big ultimate kind of move. And then this one is pretty simple. It says, can you play online with one friend and 2 AI? And then he just straight up says, yes. So during the Warzone missions and during co-op and stuff, they give you the option to just play with friends or to play with AI, and this just confirms that you can mix and match. If you have 2 friends, you can add 1 AI. If you don't have any friends, you can have all AI. And if you just have 1 friend, then you can have 2 AI. So I think that's a pretty good idea. I like that you have the option to turn on and off that little bit of extra help if you need it. And then next up it says, how will loot work? Will it just drop after destroying enemies, or do you have to run over it sort of like Minecraft, or will it be specifically in boxes? Then he responded by saying some loot comes from defeating enemies, some you can acquire from strong boxes in the level. These have different quality levels, gold, silver, and bronze. You can also get loot from completing missions, and the better you do at objectives, the better rewards will be at the end. We also have different resources that you will in world. Some are more than others, and some are found in specific regions. You can pick up the loot or wait for it to come to you. You won't miss out on anything. So it just sounds like a basic loot system that you would see in sort of any other looter shooter. Nothing too crazy there with the loot. Then next up it says, while playing Warzone missions, are the mechanics in combat of the game fluid enough to create your own team attacks? For example, let's say Hulk does an AoE attack and Thor manually targets enemies caught in the attack. Will they be hit by Mjolnir after the initial Hulk attack, or will Hulk's attack have complete priority and Thor's manual targeting cancel out? And then he responded by saying 100%. I gave another example earlier, but you can do exactly what you are describing. The cool thing is that you send an enemy flying or immobilize them. Anyone can use their abilities on them. My favorite thing to do to annoy my friends is wait for Hulk to grab an enemy and blow it up while he's holding it by shooting at it. Is that mean? I mean, there's other enemies he can grab and it still counts. So the short answer is you will have fun finding cool combos to do. We did our best to support stacking everything on top of each other, and it's a heck of a lot of fun. So that is definitely interesting how the combos will work. It seems like all the damage is going to stack. If Hulk's beating the crap out of somebody, you can use Iron Man or Thor to also beat the crap out of that same character. That sounds like it's going to be a lot better than if they were like stuck in animations. I wouldn't want the Hulk to be stuck in some sort of animation and that enemy becomes sort of invulnerable to all other attacks. So I think that's a good design decision on their part. And then the next question is, if we're playing with an AI team, are we able to switch between characters? So say I choose to play as Thor and my team was Hulk, Kamala, and Iron Man, but I decided while playing I wanted to switch to Kamala. Is this something I would be able to do? So this is a big deal. He says you would have to leave the mission to select a different Avenger to play. The mission adjusts difficulty based on your heroes, so that's why it's built this way. So you cannot switch your heroes on the fly. You have to actually back out and rejoin the mission. I don't know how I feel about that. This is something I'm going to have to wait to see how it actually plays out, because I personally would like the idea of just switching on the fly, especially if you're just playing with AI heroes. I don't see why that wouldn't be a problem, but I guess apparently the AI adjusts to which hero you're playing as, so I guess some heroes are more powerful than others. I really don't know, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see. And then this is a good question. It says, how high is the flight ceiling? Also, will Hulk have super leap alongside his normal leap? And then he responded by saying, I forget exactly what we set the ceiling to, but it's pretty high. In cities, unless it's a giant skyscraper, you can typically fly at building heights. Hulk can bound super high and far. So that's good news. I'm glad that there's a pretty high, ceiling to the map. You can actually have some freedom and fly up as high as you want until you hit that ceiling. So that's good to hear. Then this is a big question. It says, how's in-game going to look for us? What's going to keep us playing while we wait for more content? Will there be higher form of content like raids or something to take our geared out builds into and really progress towards? Anthem didn't have any reason to make the perfect build because we had no place to take our gear and really push. And then he responded by saying, I can tell you that Vince and I are absolutely passionate about in-game content. We will have hives, which are gauntlets that challenge your entire roster of heroes. Bosses and villains will make appearances. We also have 2 other in-game pieces of content that I'm not allowed to talk about just yet, and I can't wait to show you, likely in the upcoming war table. We want to show you guys a roadmap for this, and it's going to be a mix of news stories, events, and in-game challenges. Stay tuned. So it definitely sounds like there's stuff that you can do after you beat the game, after you get some high tier loot. There's going to be more and more stuff to do, and then since this is a live service game, there's going to be constant updates, and it doesn't sound like there's any lack of in-game stuff. It sounds like this is a game that you can continuously play over and over and over and still have stuff to do, which is a pretty huge deal. Then this next question regards free roam. It says, are there going to be times where we can freely explore regions peacefully, or is it just constant action? And then the response was, in between objectives, you are absolutely free to roam as you please and look for points of interest around the level. These can be allies to rescue, bounty enemies to defeat or loot, secret aim stockpiles of resources, or you could raid aim's depots where they store gear. Typically those rewards are defended and you can roam around the environment without constantly fighting if you want to just admire the scenery or have fun doing transversal. So this to me sounds kind of like Destiny, how you have the free roam, like there's constantly events going on throughout the map, there's constantly things to kill, but if you don't want to fight, you could just, roam around freely, just enjoy the environment. So that's definitely cool that there's some sort of free roam feature. You don't have to constantly fight the entire time you're playing during a mission. Next up is how destructible are the environments? And then Phil responded by saying there are a good amount of things that will blow up, and at a minimum you will see damage to structures when they are being damaged. We packed as much destruction as we could, but we didn't want to go around destroying cities. It's not practical and not very polite. Hopefully most of the cars are insured in urban areas though, because these get blown to bits regularly during battles. So obviously you can't destroy the entire city, you probably can't even destroy buildings. It just sounds like, basic things like crates, barrels, cars, different objects laying around the environment you can probably blow up, but just don't expect to blow up entire buildings or level cities or do things that superheroes probably wouldn't do. But that is it for all of the major questions that I saw during that AMA. This definitely has me more hyped. Learning that you can free roam, play with AI, there's a pretty high height ceiling. It's another looter shooter kind of like Destiny, and it just sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun. This game comes out in a couple of months, and a year ago I probably wasn't even going to get this game at all, and as of right now this is one of my most anticipated games of the year. This and Cyberpunk, so I'm pretty excited. excited. I hope this game is as good as it sounds like it's going to be, and I will keep you guys updated on any new information as we get closer to launch. But that is going to do it for this video, guys. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section down below. Are you guys going to be checking out this game when it comes out? What are you guys looking forward to the most with this game? And then if you guys are new here, please hit that subscribe button, hit that bell for notifications. Be sure to join the channel's Discord, and be sure to follow me on Twitch at SwanyPlaysGames Live. And that is going to do it for me, everyone, and I will talk to you all in the next video.